Warner Vincent, the man that invented the bullseye meter. Mr. Vincent has a new product, and Tom talked to him about it.
Okay. I have a guest with me today in the Boresight suite here in the Dunes in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's Warner Vincent from Fallon, Nevada, from Vincent's TV and Electronics. Warner is the manufacturer, inventor of the bullseye meter that we have sold on Green Sheet for a while now and has done very well with it as far as sales. You dealers out there who have bought it have had little, if none, no complaints about it. And Warner has made another particular unit that will work hand in hand with the bullseye meter. I'm going to let him explain it. Warner?
Yes, this is the new unit right here. It's a battery-operated power supply. Okay, it has 2 gel cell batteries, that's 12 and a 6 volt in series, rechargeable, 1.8 ampere hours. It also comes with the polarotor 1 control with skew and polarity. It's got 2 lights up here in front that you got red and a green light, and you got your skew control right here, and it comes with the cables which plug into the power supply, and it's got your little clips here which you simply put on your polarotor. You can test the polarotor that way right at the dish. It's very simple. And also it has an amp meter, 0 to 1 amp meter, which shows you the power drawn by an Allen-B or Allen-A combination, Allen-A down converter. As long as it's block, this is what it's designed for, block only, C or KU. It has 18 volts out. It has 3 ports here. It's got you can have 18 volts, 6 volts, or 12 volts. So you have another power supply there for smaller voltage if need be. Or this is also used for recharging. A normal battery car, an automotive battery charger will work to recharge these batteries, and just use a small one. Don't use a big hefty one. Just around about a 4 amp or less, you know, just Sears ones or whatever, you know. Anyway, what happens with this, the reason for this is it makes tuning a dish very simple, or troubleshooting a dish for signal, because this is all battery operated. All you need is the power supply and the meter with no receiver needed. This power cord from the power supply right here just plugs into the meter right there in that fitting there, and you turn your power on right here. You turn your meter on. Now you'll see the voltage from the power supply, and you plug your Allen-B into the center port, and now you read your signal. This unit will supply the power to the meter, like I said, and also will power up your dish, your Allen-B or what have you. And that's how
so it's all self-contained, and it is portable. For those of you that are going up on the roof to look at the dish, to work it out, to fine-tune it, you just need this, and perhaps maybe you might want to buy the porta-packs that we're selling on Green Sheet to keep it in, what have you. Warner, when will this be available? The bullseye meter, of course, is always available through Green Sheet, but when will this be available?
Oh, I should have it available on production within 2 or 3 weeks. Well, no later than a month, I hope.
Okay. When we return, Sean and Karen will close the show for you.
Having your home wired for cable seems innocent enough, until you realize that you've given up control of your television set to an unregulated monopoly. Your local satellite dealer offers the alternative that can free you from the crushing grip of cable and allow you to regain control of your television set. A home satellite system. Support your local satellite dealer, the unsung hero of the video communications industry.
Hi, I'm Mike Ventriello, News Director for Boresight News. Do you know what AgriSat, the SBCA, Houston Tracker, and Senator Albert Gore all have in common? They've included Boresight News on their press release mailing list. If your company or organization wants to reach the satellite television audience, be sure to send Boresight your press release. Why? Because Boresight News is the primary source of satellite industry information for many consumers, satellite dealers, and other media professionals. Shouldn't your company or organization be doing what Oak Communications, the NCTA, Netlink USA, the HSTA, and Turner Broadcasting are already doing? Send your press release to me, Mike Ventriello, Boresight News, 262 Old New Brunswick Road, Piscataway, New Jersey, 08854. And don't forget Boresight's fax number, area code 201-562-8772.
Well, that's Boresight for tonight. And I was in Vegas, and if you weren't, I understand why you weren't. But if you were, you probably recognize, as I did, that the industry is definitely getting smaller. Or maybe people really did boycott. But whatever it is, the amount of people at this trade show were not nearly the same number that was at Nashville, and certainly not the same number that was in last Vegas show. We have to look back, all of us. And most importantly, SBCA has to look back and try to recognize that there is a problem in this industry and try to understand what that problem may be and address it. They can no longer just blame Sean Kenny on the problem or USIA or KSAT. They're the problem. They're the people that don't want to recognize us. They're the people that are fighting us. I think all three of us, KSAT, USIA, and I, can get along just fine. I think we can all work together to try to strengthen the industry. But it seems that SBCA finds themselves above us. But we are dealers. What do you think, Karen?
I don't know, Sean. Were people not at the show because people aren't in the industry anymore? Or were people not at the show because they're pissed off at SBCA and STTI and they don't feel that they represent them? I guess, I've got a couple questions for you. You were there and you probably have a better feel for the industry, talking to people and getting their insight up front. Is the satellite industry dying?
Are we dying? Are you satellite dealers dying? I bet you one thing. You are tired. You know, somebody recently quoted what Bob Cooper said in the very last line of his very last Coop Satellite Digest. My money's exhausted, and so am I. I know how he feels, only too well. And I suspect a lot of dealers have found themselves in the same situation. But we can't give up. We have to find a reason to go on because we've spent so much time and money in this industry to make a career out of it. I mean, do you really want to go out and start a whole new career? Is that what you are all about? To give up and go on to the next career? There's money here, and there's purpose for us to be here. We bring enjoyment to people. We bring entertainment, and we can certainly bring other means of communication via business television and VSAT. We can do all of these things if we work together and understand it is a business of people, and we must work together. I think it's really what it comes down to. Are we willing to work together? And that goes back to getting along. We'll see what happens. Well, we do have another problem before us. That's the bill of 889, and that's another reason we have to work together. Certainly as dealers have to convince our customers to write, and certainly you customers must understand that you have to write and talk to your local cable company customer and tell him to write, because this bill is going to lower his pricing on programming, because it's going to finally give cable competition. And it'll be their only competition, because they certainly don't have any other than us. That's what this whole battle's been about for the last 2.5 years. So, we've got to write it and make 889 happen. Right, Karen?
Well, you know, it's hard, it's tough when the plight of an industry rests on one bill in front of the Senate. It's Bill 889. It was introduced by Albert Gore, the Satellite Fair Market Act of 1987, and that's what it is. If the bill is passed, the industry, I think, will survive. What it will do will bring in third-party distributors, third-party packaging. If they can buy programming at the same prices as cable, they'll be able to sell it to you cheaper. The dealers will be back in business because consumers will want systems. Rural America will be able to watch programs that they couldn't see before and pay a fair price. And in cabled areas, in suburbia, well, those people will finally have a choice, and cable will really have a competitor. One congressman said that no issue has generated more letters since Social Security reform than the issue of scrambling. The letters really help, and that's what is needed. Sean, what's next?
What's next, Karen? I guess what's next is up to you. the dealers and the consumers to get involved. We keep on telling you this, and so does everybody else out there. I would think by now you'd understand how important it is. It's important for you dealers to get involved and try to get your consumer to write as well as yourself. And remember, in your letter, you should include that little piece of trivia that you, the satellite dealer, you, this part of the satellite industry, have lost up to $10 billion, depending upon how you calculate and how much you want to calculate our growth should have been over the last 2 years. We have lost up to $10 billion, the satellite industry. The government has lost it in trade as a result of what cable has done to this industry. You consumers, it's obvious why you consumers should write. You have so many issues before you, not the least of which is fair pricing and fairness and the ability to get programming and the ability for competition to exist. Because without competition, in the end, by the year 2000, it will be TCI giving us all the programming we care to watch. I guess we're going back to books by that point. So get involved and stay tuned for Yellow Rain, Legal Discovery, and of course, Green Sheet. Some great products on Green Sheet tonight, and with some things that you dealers, and in particular you dealers, a couple of you dealers anyway, have contributed product for our LDF and just a general fund to come up with a lot of money we need to do in the next couple of weeks. So we want to thank all of you for watching Boresight, and stay tuned for next week on Thursday night, Westar 5, Channel 1 at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Boresight will again be here. And thank you again, and remember, stay tuned, because for 2 more hours we have some great programming for you, and thanks, Karen.
Good night from me. I'm Karen Howes in Atlanta. I'll see you next week on Boresight News. What we'll bring you is news of the week, plus more from the SBCA SDTI show, and the conclusion, our coverage of the Metzenbaum hearings, investigations into cable antitrust. Good night.
Welcome. This is Legal Discovery, and in terms of our lawsuit, there is absolutely nothing new as far as we know. In terms of suits against dealers, there doesn't seem to be very much new, except we have heard from a lot of dealers of late that have been visited by what they believe to be as GI undercover people. People walking into showrooms around this country saying, I want an entire satellite system, I'll pay $4,000 for it, but I must have a broken video cipher. I don't know, does GI think all of us dealers are stupid? I mean, what do they think? I mean, are we dumb enough to sell a broken video cipher to the guy that walks in off the street? If we are, then we deserve to get arrested, because we deserve to be put away someplace because they're pretty dumb. Some dealers apparently are selling video ciphers broken, but they seem to be analyzing who the potential customer is and making him either come with some sort of recommendation or referral program. By now, dealers should understand that we don't necessarily have to sell a broken video cipher to stay in business. There's enough product out there, enough product being programming, at fair enough pricing that we can indeed sell our systems, our satellite systems, without breaking the video cipher. So for those customers that walk in your showroom demanding a broken video cipher, tell them that there's the door, don't let it hit you on the way out. That's about all I have for Legal Discovery. We have a lot of product, however, coming up on on Green Sheet that was donated for legal purposes to help us to continue the lawsuit that we're facing with General Instruments. And hopefully all of you will start participating in that program. But in the meantime, I want to thank the 3 dealers that were kind enough to send product in, or actually we went out and picked it up. I want to thank them for their participation in the program, and their product is going to help immensely in our war against bankruptcy. No, we're not really, but close to it. So stay tuned for Yellow Rain and then Green Sheet. We used to have. Hello, hello, hello. Yellow Rain is here. And welcome. Now, what is happening out there in the old chip business? Well, A lot of you keep on calling me and asking me, what is a Wizard chip? What does it do? And why do I want one? Well, if you're outside the United States, you'd want one because in order to get authorized, you will have to have an ID number, and you'd have to have someplace in the United States to be authorized. Most people can't find that situation going for them outside the U.S., so they've elected to go with the Wizard technology. Now, the Wizard technology has tremendous application outside the U.S., and there are a few people I suspect that would find it interesting inside the U.S. But I'm going to rerun Lee Hadlock's piece right now so you can understand what the Wizard technology is. However, we're not only going to run half of it because we don't have enough time to run the whole thing. So stay tuned, and here's Lee's piece.
Hi, my name is Lee for Lee Hadlock Incorporated. Basically, there's been a lot of controversy in regards to the news that was on the Scramble Fax hotline, into the regards that the Wizard technology is actually a clone. The people at Scramble Fax are really reliable. I think what has happened is they've gotten a copy of somebody's clone that somebody put Wizard on it. And I'd like to make the statement now that if people at Scramble Fax would like a true copy of the Wizard, to please send me a registered letter and I'll be glad to send them one. The other thing I'd like to make a statement too now is that if any of the programmers out there, i.e. Showtime, Movie Channel, Select TV, Homebox, Cinemax, would like to see this technology or would like to have a copy of the technology to put in their own units, and I know there is a few programmers out there that have their own units online right now, waiting for them to die, if they truly do die, would like to have a copy of this, I'd be glad to send them one, provided they prove that they are who they are to begin with. I will not give this to any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Thank you. Now let me demonstrate the Wizard technology. One of the things I'm also going to do is I'm also going to show you the entire contents of U20. For those people that are technical, they can use your videotape machine at this time and put it on, and we'll show you the entire contents, and you can see if you can find a clone in this thing. Normal Wizard technology, the standard 4 setup screens, or the first 4 setup screens, excuse me, are exactly the same. This way you have parental lockout. You also have the standard installation. Now this particular unit is actually what you see. It is not. It's just total zeros. Basically, this was a dorked 0181 board that I had to rejuvenate by killing it. And as you can see, that's the true ID number, believe me or not. Okay. Next thing you do is you can select a bank of working keys, service IDs, and month codes. In this case, for one, or which is the current bank as is shown here, I have 23 Alpha 5 working. It's presently on Select TV, Transponder 9, on SpaceNet 2. Also for 24 Alpha 5, which is next month. 87 Echo Alpha, which is for the ZAP channels, which is on Transponder 23 of this bird. And also 23 Charlie 4 and 24 Charlie 4. The way you enter into these banks is setup 8. Okay? Now, one of the things that I'm going to show you now is I'm going to go up to the Telstar channels or Zap movies and show you this box working. Hopefully we'll have a movie on and you'll see it working. Oh well. As you can see, because we have the wrong service ID and month code, we have a scrambled missing condition. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Setup, 7. I'm going to select Bank 3. I'm going to show you that we have a scrambled authorized condition and no errors, no audio errors. Now a lot of people are going to say, well, you can put anything he wants on there. Once again, I reiterate to whereas if any programmer would like to see this, including Telstar, I'll be glad to give them a copy of it so they can see that this technology is truly devastating in regards to your subscription services. As you can see, scramble missing. Go to setup 7. One. As you can see, works just fine. Now I'm going to put a RAM view chip in here. Unplugging. Now we're going to show is the entire contents of U20. As you can see, there's no authorization mask, no unique subscriber category key, and if you can find one in there, let me know. Write to me. This is just a standard RAM view. The one that Sean's been selling. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my little demonstration.
Hey, welcome. Now, that's the Wizard technology. And I hopefully you can understand why the product is so unique. It doesn't care about seed keys. It doesn't care about ID number. It wants to see only the working key. And the working key can be inputted from your keyboard. One of the interesting things about this is that pretty soon the working key will be available to those of you that have the YR decoder. And it will be only put on the people that are in Mexico and the Caribbean that can legally get it. Those of you in the U.S., unfortunately, will be blocked out from receiving the, your working key from the YR encryption system. But that's life. But we do have a demonstration of the YR decoder coming up. But before we do that, I want to show you again, the video cipher technology, or vCipher technology, the fellow up in Canada that's running these schools. I want to show it to you because some of you keep on saying, well, I didn't quite understand what he does, and so take a look, and this is what he does.
Satellite dealers and VC2 resellers. Are you sending out your video cipher boxes to be fixed by others? Are you leaving a UPS or FedEx trail directly to your door? Think about it. And if you do, you should worry. Or you can worry no more. Become integrated like an IRD. Make all the profit and leave no trails. vCipher technology offers a package that makes you fully independent and self-reliant. And never, ever have your VC2s turned off again. We guarantee it. vCipher Technologies offers the video cipher technician, and even the non-technical person, the most complete package for repairs, cloning, and modifying video cipher ever offered. The package includes a chip disk with over 25 programs for cloning, utilities, and pay-per-view run chips, including the famous Doomsday chipset, which cannot be turned off. It operates on all old and new boards and gets SpaceNet 223, the previously unobtainable Telstar channel. The package includes full software tools such as disassemblers and simulators and full documentation. Full video cipher schematics, parts lists, and a complete description of how the VC2 works, plus secret inside information on the video cipher module itself. It includes a high-quality EEPROM burner which programs the appropriate EEPROMs in about 15 seconds. It includes a tube of 28-pin sockets and software on EEPROMs included. 2 sets of 0181 keys and 1 set of 0180 keys are included and are guaranteed to run for 1 year or they're replaced free of charge. You get several commented listings of the various U30 and U7 programs in the video cipher and a helpful tricks list on how to display on-screen messages, and crack many of the VideoCypher chips. Full detailed instructions on how to remove epoxy for replacing U30, and a full day of actual training of all aspects of the VideoCypher with hands-on demonstrations of the all-important techniques from EEPROM burning to epoxy removal. You gain first-hand experience on a one-on-one basis for VC2 enhancement. For more information, call area code 514-451-5704. That's VCypher Systems. We're located in Montreal at area code 514-451-5704. Oh, with a bunch of fluff.
Now remember, if you live inside the U.S. and you go to that course, and you come back and implement everything that you're trained in that course, most importantly, the 0181 technology and some of the other things you will learn, you will in all likelihood be breaking the law, and you must remember that. Fortunately, the course is designed for those of you that live outside the U.S. and also in Canada. But there have been people that have gone up there from the U.S., I understand. But I also understand they've done it more from an educational standpoint. I also believe that one of GI's guys had been there, but I can't confirm that. I just suspect that they've gone to check this thing out. It's a very informative course, and I understand that people, I've heard from two people who have gone there, and they were, fortunately for me, they were both outside the U.S., and they were both really, really appreciative of not finding out about that particular program. It's expensive, but I think it's $4,000. But he really does quite the thing for you, and you get the extra protection of getting information long after you've attended the course, because there is a modem communication that's capable along with direct contact. So it's a valuable course, but remember, you'll probably be breaking the law if you implement everything you learn from that course inside the U.S. Now the last thing well, not necessarily the last thing, there's one more thing we have to talk about, two more things. Next thing is, we are, as we said to you last week, we are pulling seed keys for 0181 boards and archiving them and sending your board back to you with your 0181 keys, as well as a brand new battery in your board. That's what we're doing. We're not putting in sockets if you don't have sockets. We're not touching any of those things. All we're doing is removing the epoxy in the locations we must remove it to dump the seed keys out of your board, and we put it, it prints out on a special type of paper, and it is sent to you. It is not saved at this end. We will not maintain records on this. It is sent directly back to you. Make checks payable. It's a $100 service, and it's important to hold on to your seed keys of your 0181 should the board ever be hit by lightning or the battery go dead, or a sundry of other, or if you go playing around with something inside of it and you lose your seed keys. Remember, GI is going to charge you $300 to reload seed keys. We will probably do it for about $50 on 0181s, and to pull your seed keys, it's only $100, and we give you a new battery. We will also, if you have an 010 board, we will put in a brand new 0181 set of keys, or 0186 set of keys, or 018F, whatever. We'll put brand new 018 keys in an 010 board, or an 0181 board if you've lost your keys out of an 0181, for $300. Now, why is it so expensive? Because they're virgin keys. This is not a clone. You get a brand new set of keys in an 010 board, period, $300. Now, where do we get the keys? We get them from a brand new board. We suck the keys out of a brand new board, we loaded them to your old board, and then we sell that board we suck the keys out of for parts. There are lots of guys out there that are working on VideoCypher boards, repairing them for people so that they don't have to send them back to GI and get ripped off for $300. And they can use the U7, that's worth $50. The U24 is worth money. They are willing to buy these old boards that we suck the keys out of. They're brand new boards, but so you can get an 0181 number in an 010 board. This is a service. It's $300. Again, that comes to me, Sean Kenny. This check is made out to me, Sean Kenny, and it is, there's the address right there, and it is $300. It's totally legal. We don't write down the numbers. We send them to you. The new numbers would be archived so that you will not only you'll get your numbers out on a piece of paper as well. We will not maintain those numbers for obvious reasons, because we don't want your board compromised. It will only be your number in your board. Now, what does it do for you if you have an 010 board? Why do you want it? Well, a lot of you are very fearful that they're going to shut down all C4 identification. Well, with an 0181 number in an 010 board, you don't have to worry about that because it will give you an A5. Now, some people say, well, can you clone it? Yes, you can clone it. If you live outside the U.S., we're cloning, and you don't want to clone because you just bought the 0181 number. If you want a Three Musketeers, you can Three Musketeers an 0181 number in an 010 board as long as you live outside the U.S. You live inside the U.S., you're breaking the law when you do that. Now, before we go, there's a new thing that we have here. Oh, by the way, if you want to do your own pulling, let me remind you of this. If you want to do your own pulling, here are two numbers you can call. CTS. CTS makes a puller. It's $695. The number hopefully will appear. There you go. CTS the puller that I use is their puller. For $695, you can get a puller that will pull seed keys. I have an 0181. Now, if you want a more, what some people think of as a better puller, or want to spend more money for what is perceived to be a better puller, you can buy one for $1,200, and that's from John's Electronics. John's Electronics is in Canada. The 800 number you see is only for those of you living in Western Canada, and it is available. It's also a seed key puller for 0181 technology, and it's $1,200 from John Electronics, a totally different one that is available from CTS at $695. And the last thing I have to tell you is there is now available to you the YR decoder. That's the Yellow Rain decoder. We're going to encrypt Yellow Rain very shortly. Now, we're going to show you what that encryption looks like. Some of you have asked me, please show it. Well, they can order it directly from us tonight. It's Visa, MasterCard, $89, or COD is $89, or you can prepay at $89, saving the Visa, MasterCard charges. Now, you people bug me at the show saying, well, we don't mind the scramble, but we want to see what it looks like. I don't have the little box to show you. We'll have that next Thursday. It's not a very complicated unit, video in, video out, and so on. And if you want a modulator, it's another $22, and if you want a keyboard for pay-per-view, it's an additional $52. That's what you have to pay. But it's an incredible encryption system. It's incredible because at this point it has been compromised. We've approached WrestleMania. We've approached the baseball people. We're approaching movies for getting pay-per-view. And remember, we're going to have that incredible seminar coming up for VSAT and business television coming up in the near future that you'll be able to attend. So here is what the encryption system looks like, and you can order it tonight, or tomorrow, or Saturday.